People often ask me about this language of influence, this influencing language, and they want to know what it is. And I would like to clarify exactly what it is and what it isn't. The influencing language from the lab profile. You know, have you ever felt when you were talking to somebody like you were talking to a wall? Well, that's a fairly accurate description of what's going on when two people are communicating. You see, everyone has a metaphorical wall around them, and they use it to protect themselves from quote-unquote bad people. You have a wall, I have a wall, even Trump had a wall. And the purpose of the wall is to protect us. But you know, in all of our walls, we have left some of the bricks out so that we can let the good people, that is, our perception of who the good people are, we can let those good people communicate with us. Now, the problem in communication is not the wall, because the wall is standard equipment that everybody comes with. The problems come from the holes where the bricks have been left out. The holes come in specific shapes, unique to each person. And if we want to communicate with that person, we need to use the words that fit exactly with the other person's holes in their walls. That's why I've spent so many years learning and teaching words that change minds, to find exactly the words that you need to get your message across to the specific people you have to communicate with. So if someone isn't taking your ideas seriously, you need to find out what are the specific holes where the bricks are missing so that they can actually get your message. And don't just assume that they're the problem or that they're missing a few bricks, if you know what I mean. The issue is finding exactly the right words, the words that change minds. Now, the influencing language, let's talk about what it is not. It is not manipulation. Manipulation is when you do whatever it takes to get what you want without taking the other person into consideration. That's not what we're doing. When you're using the influencing language, you're using their language and their way of thinking so that they don't have to make a huge effort trying to figure out what you mean, because it's not in the way they're thinking. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine for a moment that a manager and an engineer are chatting about the rollout of the new software. And the manager says, okay, is everything ready so that we can roll out the new software on Tuesday night? And the engineer says, well, we're not ready to do that yet because we don't have everybody's okay and buy-in. What do you mean you don't have their okay and buy-in? This was decided ages ago. We're supposed to be rolling it out on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple of sign-offs that we still don't have. Well, let's make sure those sign-ups are done so that it can happen on Tuesday. And oh, another thing's going wrong. The pre-training hasn't happened yet. We gotta make sure everybody gets that training so we can make that rollout happen. Well, there's other things that are happening that maybe you need to know about. You can see that this is not working very well. This manager has a goal that he's trying to get done. So we call this below conscious motivation pattern a towards pattern. The manager is aiming to make something happen. Well, the engineer isn't thinking about that at all. The engineer is thinking about all the problems that are coming up and what needs to be done about those problems. What are those things that need to be moved away from, or we can't make any progress? So they're talking in opposite directions of movement. The manager is moving towards, and the engineer is moving away from. And in fact, they're going to both have a very frustrating conversation simply because the direction of their language isn't the same. This one's moving towards, this one's moving away from. So what do they need to do? They need to go to each other's bus stop, learn the language of how that person needs to hear things so that they can get along and actually work well together. Because as long as they're banging heads about, I want this, well, we got this problem, they're not going to make any progress. So that's what the influencing language is for. It enables you to go to someone's bus stop and speak in a way that they're actually able to hear.